How's it, Ryan here? And in this video, I'm going to respond to the Ask Me Anything questions. So each week, I'm going to be answering any questions that I get through via the link in my Instagram bio. So if you have any questions that you want me to answer on one of these videos, then please ask away and it will be answered. So I have not prepared any notes. I'm just doing this kind of free flow, if you would call that. The first question was a bit of a statement. Hey, I've been sick for the past week, so been off track with the gym. I got back today and I can barely lift what I usually do, and my appetite is zero. Just kind of stuck on what to do and how to fix it, to be honest. Had to leave the gym because ultimately I gave up after 40 minutes. How can I fix it? So there's a few kind of things in there, right? If you're not eating before you're training, you're likely going to struggle. Specifically, you want to be having plenty of, say, carbs before your session as well as some protein. The kind of recommended ratio is like 3:1. So say you have like 30 grams of protein and you want to have, say, 90 grams of carbs a couple hours before. If that's too specific, then just make sure you have a substantial meal a couple hours before. Otherwise, your performance will likely suffer when you're in the gym, whether that's cardio workouts or resistance training workouts. You want to make sure that you're having adequate food beforehand. So that's one thing. The other thing, being sick, well, manage your expectations. If you're feeling sick, then don't expect yourself to really be performing well in the gym. Is it even the right thing to train in the gym? Should you maybe cut back intensity? Should you rest? I mean, this is all going to be individual specific. I can't say like you must train or you should train. If you're feeling sick, you decide, but manage your expectations. If you're feeling ill, unwell, under the weather, you've not got much of an appetite, you're feeling a bit lethargic maybe, then if you're going to train, don't be so rough on yourself, don't be so hard on yourself. Expect yourself to maybe cut back the weights, maybe just go through the motions. You can't compare now to your best if you're not feeling your best. I think this with women especially, I mean this is from a woman. Due to your cycle, like the first kind of 2 weeks of your cycle, you're going to be stronger than the 2 weeks after. Now, I can't really remember off the top of my head how it all works. I mean, I didn't really go through it, but your strength, your weight, your appetite, hunger, like this is all going to fluctuate each month. So again, it comes back to managing your expectations with how you're feeling kind of day to day. Sure, there's actions you can take to mitigate how you're feeling, as in, again, make sure you're eating substantially. Perhaps even eating at the same times day to day. That's going to help you with the appetite part of it. And yeah, don't compare what you lift one week to what you lift the other week, especially if you are again female. But maybe month to month. The bottom line is, if you put in the effort session to session, then like you're doing the best that you can there and then. So instead of focusing on what the actual number is, just look at, are you bringing the effort? Are you showing up? Are you going through all of your sets, all of your reps? Are you challenging yourself? Are you pushing yourself? If you're ticking all the boxes, then you're doing the best that you can. Well done. That's all that really matters, right? And if you keep doing that, even though you don't feel your best, then, I mean, ultimately you're going to get the result. So, yeah, I think that answers that. Hopefully. So next question is from Ryan. So he says, I'm 62 kilograms with a flat chest. How do I put on weight? It doesn't matter what I eat. Well, first of all, there's two things there, right? So flat chest and putting on weight. So there's the training element of that, and then there's the nutrition element of that. Well, let me just stop you there and say it does matter what you eat. Actually, it only really matters what you eat in terms of your weight. If you want to increase your weight, then it's the whole equation of what you're consuming versus what you're burning. So I know Ryan has a natural kind of slim build, which is naturally going to make it a bit harder to gain weight. But I would say people with the kind of slimmer builds who then put on muscle specifically, in my opinion, I think they look even better when having muscle compared to, well, myself. I have that kind of average build. It's a bit easier for me to put on weight, put on muscle than it is to someone who has this kind of slender build. And then you can compare it to someone who has that kind of broader, bigger build who just looks that way and puts on muscle, right? So I don't know if I'm going off a tangent here, but you have a flat chest. Let's look at that. If you want to develop and grow your chest, that requires that you do resistance training exercise frequently and intensely and progressively overloading it week to week. You can't grow a chest without progressively overloading a resistance training program. Now, I would also say do that in the gym. Do exercises like a dumbbell press, like chest flies, or some variation of them. Make sure you're challenging yourself session. So maybe do 2-3 sessions a week where you're actually hitting chest. When you're hitting chest, make sure you're actually feeling your chest. I see this quite often. I've seen this a few times actually. People want to grow a chest. They've been training chest for years, but they haven't even engaged the chest proper. They're using their triceps, their shoulders just to shift the weight and not really thinking about actually feeling it. So in terms of cues to grow your chest, think about pulling your chest up tall so that you're really kind of having this arch in your back. Pop the shoulders back down, and then as you're pressing or doing your flies or again any kind of variation, you're really just thinking about bringing your biceps into the side of your chest. You're really closing this gap over. If you have your elbow like this, then you might not close it, but then you just want to make sure, this is me trying to get an exercise tutorial from my seat, but hopefully that gives you the gist of how to grow your chest through the training. There is the nutrition side of things, as I said at the start there, so it doesn't matter what you eat, it matters completely what you eat. Make sure that you're eating plenty of carbs, plenty of protein, pre and post workout. Start with that. So you want to grow your chest, make sure you're getting your resistance training workouts. If it's specifically chest, hit chest 3 times a week. Obviously I'd recommend hitting your full body, but say you only want chest or you only want glutes. Nobody's saying you need to hit every single body part, right? It's a good idea, but if you're only focused on that one body part, then you can just make sure every 3 days a week, train it progressively harder with intensity. I could go down the rabbit hole this, but we'll keep it there. So if you're struggling to get the food in, then I'd suggest that you, I think I said this in the last one actually, eat at consistent times, because your body gets used to and it adapts to your eating schedule. So for me, I eat at the same times most days. Occasionally I fast with my breakfast, and sometimes at weekends I'll skip my lunch, but for the most part I'm eating at like 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock. And then I try not to eat later on, but I typically do. But if you're struggling to put on weight, of course you need to eat. So to really add the calories to your meals, which is the priority, then consider combining carbs, fats. So things like butters, spreads, oils, adding that to something high in carbs. Like honestly, toast and butter. Like how easy is that to eat? I love claw pack butter. Claw pack with, again, what's that, Scottish bread? Oh, but again, back to the point again. I hope this is giving you some ideas. I hope this is getting to it, because this is like a one-sided conversation, but I'm going to assume that we've kind of said enough with this question, right? If there's any follow-up questions, you can also ask. Right, next one. So, I want to lose weight and have a better mindset. I struggle with binge eating, anxiety, and depression. I lack motivation and have a constant fear of going to the gym. How can I overcome this? So there's like this big ball of like mess here. I don't mean you're a mess, I'm saying this, your problems here. There's a few layers to it that you can unravel, right? So first thing is you want to lose weight. First question I'll ask you is why? What do you want to lose weight for? And a converse question would be, well, what benefits are you getting from being overweight just now? Because if you're struggling, I mean, it doesn't say anything about struggling with losing weight, but the binge eating. If you struggle to lose weight, well, what benefits do you get from being overweight? Get clear on what the benefits are. so that you can then have a better understanding of why you are overweight in the first place. You want to have a better mindset. For what reason? For what purpose? So these questions are things that would ask inside the program and actually one-to-one coaching. It's like understanding where you're at right now, what obstacles you have in the way, and then how we can overcome each and every one of them. In order of priority, the one that's kind of restricting your progress the most right now, we would take that, we focus on that, we move through it, and then we've got the next one. So with these problems, this video isn't going to solve those, but hopefully it gives a bit of kind of insight into how we would maybe overcome. So yeah, losing weight. Why? What's the motivation? If you're struggling to lose weight, there's a reason why you are in this current body shape. What is that reason? How would changing this body shape, losing this weight, benefit and serve you? And make sure that you have this balanced perspective, because it's not going to be all great, right? There is work. It takes work. It takes restriction. It takes discipline with your eating habits, cutting out the high sugar processed stuff, swapping it with these nutritious whole foods, which is difficult. It's challenging initially until you get into the habit of doing it. So consider the drawbacks and the challenge of actually doing that. So the binge eating part. Now, funny story, I actually used to struggle a little bit with binge eating. I remember learning about this in college, and then I couldn't handle it. I was learning about eating disorders, right? And in college, I learned about this binge eating disorder, and I was like, when I first heard about it, I was like, that's me. I did that. And people just laughed. They're like, haha, right, okay. I was like, I'm serious. Like, I'll go home and smash a full packet of biscuits and like just feel so guilty. Like I felt horrible after. I was like, why did I keep doing this? Like, but what was actually happening for me is I wasn't eating enough of the right nutrients. The right nutrients being those healthy, nutritious whole foods. You know the foods I'm talking about, healthy foods, fruits, veg, meats. Some people might argue with that, but I believe it is healthy. Like plenty of protein, plenty of like fibre. I wasn't eating enough and I was burning a lot. So that resulted in me coming home and then just always binge eating at night. So with that, I mean, the first thing is like really prioritize high quality nutritious foods first, so that you don't leave space for it to fill up with this shit, right? At night time, if that's when you're snacking, we'll have a healthier snack. Like prepare, you know you're going to, if you're in that routine of binging at night, we'll have something ready for you. Have your healthier snacks, something like rice cakes or some sort of healthier biscuits. Make some sort of healthier swap, just a step in the right direction. Doesn't need to be a whole transformation, just one small swap. Focus on that one thing, get it done, keep it consistent, then move on to the next thing. One thing at a time, don't overwhelm yourself. Take one step forward in the right direction, and that momentum will pick up over time. Anxiety. So, well, anxiety and depression, they are of course mental issues, and I'm no expert in solving these, but what I have learned I know can help with this, but it's very individual. It really does depend on you as an individual and your past and your perceptions. But what I do believe is, well, anxiety and fear, what I've learned from Dr. John Demartini is that they are similar in the way that they're kind of processed in the mind. So is excitement. I don't know if you've maybe heard that one before. But anxiety with what? Anxiety is a fear, and a fear is you expecting more pain, challenge, drawback than pleasure, advantage, upside, right? So it's like the two sides, you're seeing more of this downside than the upside. So a simple way to overcome that, I'm not saying easy, I'm saying simple, it's to find the other side. Well, get specific with the content in your mind. What is it that you're anxious about? When you're getting anxiety, what's going on in your mind? The chances are you're probably not even aware of the content in your mind, you're probably not aware of that internal dialogue that's going on. So if you can really pause, slow down, stop, and understand, well, what is this chatter? What is the content of your mind? If you can capture that, then you can start to really unravel it, take the layers off, dig deeper, get to the real problem that's probably been buried there for fucking years and potentially months in your past. And here's the thing, if you don't deal with that, that stays with you forever until you do, until you're able to find that, oh, this thing that I'm anxious and scared and I have this big fear of, well, until you find the other side and see it with a balanced perspective, which by the way is loving it. If you can love this past negative experience, you won't have this anxiety over you. You won't have this constant, right? That, again, we could go into depth with that, right? People might agree, people might disagree. I don't care. This is what I believe, and this is what I've seen. Next, depression. Amazing. Depression is a comparison of your current reality to an unrealistic expectation of how your life should be. Let that sink in. So when you compare yourself to someone else, or if you compare your life the way it is now to how you think it should be, or the way it used to be, you are automatically going to be putting this version of your life up here, and by default you put your current version down here. You put this version in the pedestal, put this version in the pit. And the same works for people, right? If you put somebody up here, you put yourself down here. That, by the way, is actually an issue with confidence. When you don't know yourself, you start looking out there and compare. I see that all the new PDs actually. It's comparison is the thief of joy. You've heard that before, right? So if you're feeling depressed, again, look at the content in your mind. What is it that's on your mind that's causing you to feel depressed? I don't know if you've heard of that thing as well about depressed, meaning you need deep rest from the persona, the façades, the fake, false front you've got on. If you don't know who you truly are, you're not able to be yourself. If you're not able to be and know yourself, then you're not able to love yourself, and that shit's exhausting. So that's why knowing your values, knowing who you are is very important. Because depression, it's not a problem as such, it's a symptom. It's feedback that you're not honouring who you truly are. What is most important to you? You're trying to live by someone else's values of how they're living their life. And again, there's that quote, envy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. So if you're trying to imitate someone else's life rather than honour your own, then that is going to cause depression as feedback to let you know that you're not living truly authentic. You're not honouring who you really are. So depression, that's my take on it. Let's get on this video. I don't know how it's going to work, but maybe. You lack motivation. Let's look at that. Well, motivation for what? We are motivated to do the things that are most important to us, the things that inspire us, the things that align with what's truly most important to us. So if you lack motivation, then you can't see that alignment between, again, the things that are truly most important to you and whatever that action is. So question, what are you doing instead of the thing that you want to be doing? You want to go to the gym, you want to take better care of yourself, you want to improve your diet, you want to maybe, I don't know, start doing walks or why do something different, right? But you're not. What you're doing instead, why are you doing that? Find the benefits of you doing that. Once you get clear on the benefits of you doing the action that you are doing, then you can change it. Because you can't change what you don't love. So to love what you're doing right now, see it with a balanced perspective, objective perspective. That means seeing benefits equal drawbacks to the thing that you judge in yourself for doing. What you resist persists. So you can try to resist this habit that you keep doing but you don't want to do it. say it's even social media, say it's binge eating, say it's eating whatever it is, not going to the gym, you're procrastinating on it, you're not energized and moving forward and driven to do it. Why? That's my favourite word. Why? Why are you not? Why are you lacking motivation? And don't start beating yourself up. It's like, oh, because I'm lazy and unmotivated and undisciplined. Bullshit. We're all disciplined, we're all focused, we're all motivated for the things that are most important to us. So look at where you are motivated. Look at where you are disciplined. Look at where you are active. You're not lacking motivation in those areas, you're lacking motivation in the areas that you think you should be acting in. But the reality is it's not truly important to you. So if you want to become motivated to do something, well, how is you doing what you're currently doing a benefit? And how can you get a similar benefit by doing this other thing? Again, that's a surface level answer to that. You have a constant fear of going to the gym. How can I overcome this? So again, fear is this expectation, conscious or unconscious, that you're going to experience more negative pain, drawback than positive pleasure, benefit. So again, think about it in terms of balance, right? If you have this expectation that there's going to be more negative than positive, then you've got a skewed perception of how it really is, right? Your fear of the future is based on a fear of the past. To simplify fears, you only have a fear of loss, so you losing something that you want, or a fear of gaining something that you don't want. Don't know if my actions are making that clearer, but that's what they boil down to. Fear of loss of what you seek, fear of gain of what you're seeking to avoid. The truth is, there's no loss or gain. There's only transformation. Everything's always transforming. You lose something, something else you gain. When one door closes, another door opens. Don't know if that's relevant, but if you have a fear of going to the gym, well, that's most likely based on a past negative experience. Where was it? When was it? Go to that moment. What were the upsides? Boom. Stack that enough times, you will find that fear starts to dissolve, it starts to go away. And this is the Demartini method, right? This is a part of that, dissolving fear, balancing your perceptions. Again, there's more to it, but we'll leave that there. That's how you overcome it. Hope that answered your question. Next one, classes versus training in the gym. What's your thoughts? I see this is quite a popular thing, so people love their classes nowadays, and I get it. When I actually first started training, I was training the Lions Den in Patrick, and it was the conditioning classes that really got me started. I would go down there with my uncles 3-4 days a week, started walking to and from, then I started running to and from, and I think in about 9 months' time, I went from being just fat, out of shape, to ripped. Like, I was fucking shredded. I couldn't find a picture somewhere. But this was when I was like 15. And for me, I loved the community. And that's what classes are really about, right? I mean, and for what I see, it's like the biggest benefit of this group training. It's community coming together, training together, doing hard shit together. Now that I respect. Anybody who does that consistently shows up and comes together with that, well done, go you. Training in the gym, on the other hand, it's, well, you can do it together, right? You can maybe do it as a partner, maybe a small group. But personally, I think it's more of a solo journey because, well, your goals, someone else's goals may be different. Your needs for training, someone else's needs for training are different. Classes, training in the gym. The reason I say training in the gym is better than classes is because if you want to develop muscle effectively, optimally, training in the gym is going to make that easier. This is my opinion, right? Training in the gym is more can be more specific and tailored to what you actually want, what you actually need. This is one kind of bodybuilding perspective, right? If your goal is just to get fitter, then go to class. If your goal is to develop your body, train in the gym, do resistance training. So I would say that like it just really it does depend on everybody. My preference is training in the gym. I used to do classes, I love classes, but if I get a choice between one or the other, I choose training in the gym because it aligns with my goals, it aligns with what I want. I want to look my best. I like resistance training, I want to be strong, and I want to look good with my clothes off. And that's what aligns with training in the gym for me. Classes can get to that, but in terms of say like building up specific body parts, I don't think classes are going to be the optimal way to do that. But again, the bottom line is preference. Do what one you enjoy and the one you can stick to consistently. It takes a bit more learning for training in the gym, so classes might actually be a bit more suitable for beginners. You're probably more likely to injure yourself in classes because, if I remember right, there wasn't really, the technique is less monitored and it's more about intensity and push. Whether that's training in the gym, for me anyways, about quality of execution. It's like a mindful practice for me. Like if I'm doing a set of chest press, I'm feeling my chest, I'm going for it. Whereas if I do squats, that's like do or die. So classes versus training in the gym. For me, I would choose training in the gym as number one, just because it's more aligned with my goals and what I want. Nothing against classes, but so you do you. Next question. My training's going good, but I need to stick to my food, but it's too hard to do. Any tips? So you need to stick to your food. Just tell me that whatever you're trying to stick to, you don't really want to do. It's too hard to do, right? Well, when the why is big enough, the hows take care of themselves. So if you're not sticking to your food, to your diet, well, what are you doing? What are you doing to not stick to it? Like if you're really struggling to eat in a certain way, then there's a reason you're struggling to eat in that way. That way maybe doesn't align with you, maybe you don't enjoy it, maybe it's not sustainable, maybe it kind of goes against the grain of your work environment, your social occasions. I don't know if that's relevant, but with work, I think I said this before with the whole best fat loss tip is fill your day with high priority challenges that inspire you, or fill up with low value distractions that don't. The same goes for your diet. If you don't fill your diet up with high quality nutritious foods that fuels you, then it's going to fill up with low quality and nutritious foods, junk foods, high sugar processed foods that drain you. I mean, you think about eating chocolate, you eat a full fucking chocolate bar that I did last night. You feel drained, you feel heavy. Whereas if you eat a salad, that protein in it, you feel good after eating it. Of course, chocolate, salad, what's the easiest one? What tastes better? Well, again, that's you. But, so I got distracted, I'll come back with that. My training's good, but food's too hard to do. So what is it you're trying to do? You try to build muscle, you try to lose fat, you just try to be healthier. Get clear on the goal, the reason why you're trying to eat in a certain way. Get specific, what is it you're really struggling to do? I mean, stick to my food. Well, if you're struggling to stick to your food, then you're probably trying to eat in a way that isn't really congruent for you. Maybe you're trying to change too much too soon. Maybe you're just listening to what someone else has told you to eat. Maybe you're just put a diet plan out and anywhere and thought, right, fucking go do that. That's what's right. There's no right or wrong when it comes to nutrition. It's individual. I mean, everybody's bodies actually react and digest foods differently, which is nuts. Like, take nuts for example. I eat cashew nuts, I might love them, my digestive system might function well with them. Other people might eat that same food and it doesn't digest the same because our guts are different. Now, I'm not too caught up in all that, but I'll tell you that like our bodies are different. find a way of eating that aligns with what you want and you enjoy it. It's as simple as that. Like, don't try and stick to an unrealistic diet that, well, in my opinion, if you try to stick to a short-term, quick fix diet, I mean, don't expect to maintain the results that come to it. You may want a quick 12-week cut, whatever, but I prefer long-term sustainability over a kind of quick fix. So any tips for sticking to your food? Well, look at what you would usually eat, see what swaps you can make that are healthier, where can you add in more fruit, more veg, more protein. That's typically what I go for, but again, this is very individual. Everybody's different, everybody's needs are different, everybody's wants and goals are potentially different. So if you're struggling to stick to the diet, then it's probably not the right diet. That's my take. Let's see. Fuck, I've got a few. So I've experienced a lot of trauma in the past. How would you suggest I move past it? So again, very individual. I recommend that you seek a professional help, a qualified counsellor, qualified mental health therapist, right? Seek a professional. Another thing you can do is, I don't know if I can say that, the DiMartini method. So this DiMartini method that I learned is specifically about dissolving past traumas. It's about going back to those moments where and when you perceive this individual that traumatized you or yourself doing an action or not doing an action that has traumatized you. It's about going to those moments and then asking yourselves the right questions to balance out your perceptions of those moments. Let me define trauma, and I don't know if this is right. This is, again, all my opinion, on my page. I'm going to tell you what I think. Trauma in the past is you perceiving an experience having, again, like fear, more pain, drawback, disadvantages than pleasure, benefits, advantages. So you label it trauma because you haven't yet found how it has served you. I know that's a bit out there, people traumatized with that. Listen, message me if you disagree. Your past traumas are negative, perceived negative, because there's no actual negative, right? Everything's fucking objective. But you and your perception have perceived that event to have more pain, drawback, negatives associated with it than upsides and pleasures, which in a lot of cases, I mean, think of extremes, examples, I don't know them, you already know. Think of those examples. There is upsides to them, and that, people don't want to hear that. It's like, cancel it, nah, wrong. Message me if you feel traumatized, tell me what it is, and we can work through that. I've heard some mad stories, and again, this is from Dr. DiMartini's method training program. It was actually very interesting in his breakthrough experience. He's told these stories of extreme cases where people have been traumatized, labeled themselves traumatized, and they've had these painful experiences. There's no denying that. But using the method, they have been able to find an upside to it. So they're not victims of their history. They become masters of their destiny, because this thing, this pain, this negative, they're not thinking positive. They're not saying that there's no denying the negative, but there is also finding those upsides until they equal the pain, the pleasure. What's that saying again? No therapy is complete until cause equals effect. I'm just going to leave that there because I feel I'm going to do it in the rabbit hole. If you have any questions, if you're traumatized, message me. I'd love to help you with that trauma. Next, I want to lose weight. What's the best exercise for me to do? Cardio or weights? Neither. Exercise is a shitty way for you to lose weight. Aye, listen, it is really about, of course, your intake, your output. Exercising only to lose weight isn't a great strategy. It helps, of course, because the exercise, your blood sugar, it helps you maybe suppress your appetite and balance the blood sugar and just feel overall better and want to eat healthier. Of course, there's these smaller, significant benefits that come from training, but zoom out a wee bit. You having this excess weight, it's not about then going and exercising to get rid of it. It really is about restricting your calories temporarily until you use up this store energy that you've been out of balance for a while, and it's like, this is the result. Don't feel guilty about it. I mean, you probably felt good while you're eating and you weren't exercising, your feet up, you're chilling and going, great. That was the pleasure. Now you've got the pain of this. It's not a bad thing, it's normal. Most people have it, right? So the best exercise for you to do is the exercise that you can sustain for the longest period of time. I'm not meaning per session, I mean over the course of weeks and months and years. The exercise that you enjoy most, that you can stick to, that you want to do. Because here's the thing, all exercise is hard, whether it is running or weights. I wouldn't say do one or the other. I mean, if you've got weight to lose, then do both. Why not do both? If you've got time and energy to do both, do them. But again, personal preference, resistance training, just because if you're trying to build muscle, let me back up a bit. If you want to lose weight, do resistance training, because once you lose that weight, if you haven't spent time doing resistance training and developing your body, then the look that you have isn't going to be as desirable as what you may initially think, in my opinion. Just because, again, resistance training helps you develop and tone your muscles. Losing weight on its own is just going to make you look thinner. And what I've found is look like a drowned rat, right? And that's like, how do you say that? But honestly, like, have you ever tried just losing weight without having any muscle? It's not the greatest. People think they need to lose weight then build muscle. Nah. Focus, it's two different things. Focus on developing your muscles and losing weight by following a resistance training program frequently with intensity. Add in cardio after that, if you can, or along with it, whatever floats your boat, right? And then the nutrition side of things, make sure that you're fueling your workouts, right? Make sure that you have plenty of carbs and protein pre and post workout. But if you're trying to lose weight, maybe fast, maybe skip a meal, maybe reduce the sizes, or look at the real fucking problem, right? Where are you overeating? Are you overeating at the weekend? Are you drinking at the weekend? Where are most of the excess calories come in? Look at that, be truthful, be honest. Don't skim past it, don't lie to yourself, because that's just wasting your own time and energy. Like, be honest with yourself, hold yourself accountable. Where are you, I was going to say fucking up, but there's no fucking up really, it's just where are you over consuming? How can you mitigate that? How can you reduce that? Hope that helps. Last question, Hi mate, I'm looking for a PT to help me get started in the gym. I've seen your posts around Instagram and I like the results that people get. I'm just wondering how to get started and go about it. Well, first of all, thank you. This isn't the place for that, but my link in my bio to book a discovery call, that's the first step. Once you book in a discovery call, you attend it. We sit down on Zoom and we have a chat about your challenges and your goals, and then I'll tell you exactly how I can help you. And I'll offer you whatever package is going to suit you. Now, the biggest concern is obviously cost. So depending on your budget as well, I can suggest a package that might work for you. I was actually thinking about this today. So my packages go from, it's all the kind of same offer. I'm not going to really talk about that here, but we can have 15 minutes per week. We can have 2 hours per week. Of course, having 2 hours per week is going to cost more than having 15 minutes. But the accountability systems, the tools, the resources, the programming, the app, your plans, like that, you still get both of that. It's just a level of support. So of course, if you have less time, there's more challenge on your part. If you have more time, you have more support, more one-to-one direct coaching, right? So once you do your discovery call, if you decide to then go ahead, I send you over the link, you make the payment. Once you've made the payment, I then get you to do your questionnaire and assessment. Once you've completed that, within a week, you get your training program, nutrition plan. On the app, you have access to the Vault, which has a whole kind of host of resources and information. Might be overwhelming initially, but basically, put that aside. Once you have your plans, we meet either in the gym, online, we message. You just need to show up. You show up, you do the work, you get the results. It is simple as that. So that's how you go about it. If you're interested, message me, book a call, have a chat. If it's for you, we'll move forward. If not a problem. At least now you know. You will at least have some sort of clarity as a result of the call. That's it. That is it for this Ask Me Anything. Thank yous very much for listening. If you have any questions, please ask me anything in my Instagram bio. There'll be links there, or just find me somewhere. Ask the question, I'll show up, I'll answer it, I promise. Thank you very much again for listening. Speak to you very soon. Take care.